welcome back to AWS On Air. We are live here in the Expo Hall in Las Vegas at reInvent today. And we are joined, I'm Jenna Pedersen, we are joined by Rashit.
I'm
and Rashit.
Rashit, yes.
And Rob. Today we're going to talk with Rashit about, Amazon ads. So, and we want to understand how they operate at massive scale, ultra low latency, and to serve hundreds of millions of ad requests per second. So, just tell us a little bit about what Amazon Ads is.
Yeah, let's start with what kind of products we offer and how we can help advertisers create an omni-channel marketing strategy. If you look at customer journey, a customer journey could start anywhere. They could be anywhere in their purchase journey, and they could be going through this journey on any channel, whether it's mobile, social media posts, desktop, or even in an offline store. And we have products, ad products that allow an advertiser to increase their brand awareness, product awareness, if they're in the early phase of their journey, or increase the consideration of a particular purchase if they're a little bit later phase of their journey. We have products ranging to drive the discoverability of your brands, like sponsor brands, or describe the discoverability of your flagship products, sponsor products. Or if you want to do it on and off Amazon, you could use sponsored display as well. We also have programmatic buying through Amazon demand-side demand-side platform, Amazon DSP, where you could do both on and off 1P and 3P websites on video ads, audio ads, all kinds of format. So that's what Amazon Ads enables marketers to reach their customers.
Okay.
Now, what were some of the big challenges that customers were facing before we offered this kind of consolidated set of services and features that you just described? How were customers solving the problem before then?
Advertising has been an industry for 50, 100 of years, but digital advertising has really picked up in last tens of years, I would say. And a lot of their marketing spend now is moving from traditional advertising to digital spends. And Amazon is starting to become an important place where they can reach millions and millions of shoppers that we have. And the experience that we provide with our ads is very immersive. We want to be the best one to provide the best immersed shopping experience, or ad immersed entertainment experience. So a lot of folks are looking at Amazon products to reach out to those shoppers who are buying at Amazon or off Amazon.
What types of businesses can take advantage of Amazon Ads?
It actually caters to all sizes of businesses, all sizes of brands, small, medium, large, and that's why sponsored products is one of our simplest products to get started on. If you become a third-party seller, or if you are a vendor selling through Amazon, you could very simply use sponsored products and start advertising your products. If you are a brand-centric company, you could move into a little bit more sophisticated sponsor brands kind of product, which allows you to do creative management as well.
Okay.
And then if you want to go a little bit off Amazon, you can do sponsored display. If you're really one of the big agencies, you could use Amazon DSP and do video ads, audio ads. So it really caters to small, medium, large enterprises and agencies.
Okay. And you mentioned Amazon VSP.
Amazon DSP.
What does the VSP stand for?
DSP stands for demand-side platform, is a very common industry standard advertising term that allows marketers to provide their marketing intent, and then you match it with any potential supply, whether it's on Amazon or off Amazon. So we do have Amazon DSP as a product that you could use for both 1P and 3P advertising.
Okay. Got it.
So as you're describing this, I'm envisioning some sort of ecosystem, because we have the ultimate omni-channel platforms where the end user is being shown the ad. We have the people running the ad campaigns. We have the management. You were alluding to kind of matching supply and demand of certain ads with certain contents, and then there's personalization. How does this whole ecosystem work? It seems like a very complicated system. How does it fit together?
Yeah. Let me just start with who are our primary sets of customers. There are like 3 primary sets of customers. Obviously, advertisers who use our ads console to build their ad campaigns. Then we have shoppers to whom we show the most relevant ads. And then on top of that, we have 3P API developers, third-party API developers, who build more tools and services on top of our public APIs so that they can help more set of advertisers depending on where they are in the marketing journey. And if you look at it in a nutshell, a very simplified version of Amazon Ads pipeline is like on the left, advertisers or public API developers are creating campaigns using our APIs. Then we show these ads to our shoppers, and a lot goes inside when how we select the ads, match the ads, and be more relevant. And then as and when these ads are being shown, events like impressions, clicks, views are being recorded in a real-time manner. And those real-time streaming of these events is being stored in a massive petabyte scale data lake, as well as it's also used by our budgeting systems to make sure they can do real-time aggregation of our spends so that they never exceed budget. Lastly, we use a lot of these ad events that we collect in our data lake to perform near real-time machine learning to improve our sophisticated models, deep learned models to improve ad selection and ad relevance.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that you gather a lot of critical metrics for monitoring the success and the engagement and all these different things. And is that data that we have access to? Do we share that with the people running the ad campaign? How does that work?
So there are two parts to it. One is when advertisers create ad campaigns, we do share with them various kinds of metrics, how many impressions you got, how many clicks you got, what's your return on ad spend and conversions and sales. And they're available through our ads console, they're available through public APIs, and these ad events form one of the bases of that. But at the same time, we use these ad events to also build sophisticated machine learning models so that we can do even better. It's like a feedback loop that's going on continuously. But we do share these sets of metrics to our advertisers for transparency.
Right. And you mentioned one key thing in there that we have the ability to report on return on ad spend, right? So in other words, I'm filling in some blanks here, so you tell me if I've got this wrong, but there is an extra component to this where we are able to track the downstream actions, right? So it's not like I see an ad, I click on it, I get taken to a different domain, and now I've lost all visibility into what happens, or can I, because at some point in order to measure that, I have to say, did the person actually charge their credit card to make a purchase of something, right?
Yes, so yeah, we have sophisticated attribution modeling algorithms that we use to derive whether this sale or purchase was generated through an ad click or an ad-based impression. And it could be over a different time of the day, different days as well. So yeah, we do attribute it back so that you can actually see what you're getting out of spending on ads on Amazon.
That's awesome. I'll leave it there because I feel like just that topic alone, I feel like we could spend a whole hour here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yesterday was Cyber Monday, probably one of the biggest online shopping days of the year. Tell me a little bit about the scale that Amazon Ads has to use or to have in order to run workloads like Cyber Monday.
Yeah. So our ad server is a super hyperscale sort of service that we have evolved architecturally over the past few years to be able to meet that demands of the business and demands of the scale. We process about, like hundreds of millions of ads gets processed in this service. Mm-hmm. And there is a very tight latency budget of 120 milliseconds or so. So you can imagine a lot has to be done very quickly. So we used multiple patterns like pre-computing a lot of data, caching a lot of data, and then we also scale our ad server horizontally so that we can just scale out as much as we need to. And we were able to use AWS Elasticache, Memcached, as well as, like I said, pre-computed data pattern, service-oriented architecture, and meet the scale needs of the business. Contrary to our original thinking was that if we go more off the box, will it impact latency? But actually, horizontal scaling helped us be either latency neutral or latency positive net-net.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned the caching layer. Did you mention what kind of database technology you're using?
We are using Elasticache, Memcached. It's one of the, I would say, very super high-scale component that in the ad server ecosystem. Mm-hmm. We're doing like 500 million keys lookup a second using that, and we were able to scale horizontally through that as well.
Not just as a cache, but also as the persistence layer, as the database?
It is primarily used as a caching layer. We do have, we can go back to authoritative source if we lose the data in it, but we have replication to avoid that for the most part.
Okay, so most of the reads are happening through the cache, and that's...
All the reads are happening through the cache.
All the reads are happening.
Everything is good. We don't have the luxury to go to slower medium
Yeah.
because of the tight latency budget.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. Now, I mean, I imagine this a system like this has to be able to evolve with the growing business requirements of some of our customers and our users. You know, this ad space can be incredibly fast moving. Can you talk about how we've done that, how we've worked with our customers to kind of custom tailor the system to their needs?
Yeah. I mean, like the evolution of ad server or the evolution of our campaign management service. Maybe I'll take an example of our campaign management service. Like, and we just did a breakout session an hour before. That recording will be live by later tonight, I believe, so folks can watch it as well. But for example, campaign management system, we provide APIs to build and manage the campaigns, but our use cases were not just limited to CRUD APIs. We needed to do list, query, and search APIs that were demands of our advertisers. So just plain old database and a service architecture didn't work. We had to use purpose-built data stores to support our use cases. And so we evolved our architecture to use DynamoDB and AWS Elasticsearch to be able to perform the needs of the APIs that we wanted. And it, right now the system can scale to up to tens of billions of campaign objects with low latency reads and writes, about a few hundreds of milliseconds, and achieve 6 nines or more of availability. So this is an evolution we did over the past few years to be able to meet the customer needs, and they're evolving all the time.
Yeah. Now, I want to go back to the persistence layer because this is something that I'm just personally fascinated by. You mentioned, so you have DynamoDB, underneath Elasticache, you're caching all of your data aggressively. Now, was that a specific decision that you had to make on top of some of the caching capabilities built into DynamoDB? Or is DynamoDB also kind of like serving as a hybrid caching layer?
For our campaign services, we are actually okay with just DynamoDB. We don't cache on top of it. But to support our list, search, query use cases, Dynamo is a key value store, and it didn't quite work for us for that kind of API pattern. So we use Elasticsearch or OpenSearch, another sort of search index technology that AWS has, to meet those sets of use cases. It's working out fine for the scale and latency that we are looking for.
Yeah, the technical decisions that you mentioned are absolutely fascinating. Jenna, I wish we had an infinite amount of time to do a technical deep dive into this, because it's kind of rare that we find systems that need to kind of react to this level of changing requirements, this level of spiky scale, right? I mean, like this is some serious engineering that has to happen to make this kind of system operate efficiently and not fall over on a day like Cyber Monday, for example. So I imagine there's some really interesting challenges and war stories that you could share with us if we only had the time.
So real quick, what are some of the things you've learned while
I think the key takeaways for us are there is no one size fits all. You have to experiment a lot with the technology that's available to you, whether you are looking at a data store or search index or caching or machine learning. Like you got to experiment and try the tools that AWS has made available and see which works for your use case, because there's no one size fits all. We were able to use Elasticache Memcached for our caching needs. We were able to use purpose-built data stores like Dynamo and Elasticsearch to meet our campaign needs. We were able to use Dynamo Streams, Kinesis, and Lambda to be able to meet the scale needs of our budgeting service, which on a day like Cyber Monday, it has to auto-scale, and it does auto-scale with hands-off, in an elastic way for us. So I think that's the main thing, that elasticity was also very important to us, and cost savings were also very important to us. So by trying a few architectures and few tools, we were able to achieve what we needed. Now, there is more to come, because it's always an iterative thing. Like, as more use cases emerge, we're going to have to iterate on the architecture and the design of our service.
Yeah, definitely a lot of learnings, and I really like the point about the necessity for experimentation. As you look forward to maybe the next couple years of building this service out, what do you see as some of the major challenges? What do you anticipate is going to happen?
I think the biggest challenge for us is going to be the scale and the tight latency budgets that we have in ad serving. And as we become more and more omni-channel, I think it's going to bring some interesting challenges in our architecture as well, especially when we look at Amazon DSP and the scale associated with it.
Yeah, so for those who are watching from home, how can they learn more about this?
So we just did a breakout session a couple of hours earlier today,
Okay.
which is going to be available to watch, I believe, later tonight, so you can
Yep.
watch there. There is a blog that Jeff Barr had posted about this session as well yesterday. A few of us, you can find us on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you can hit us up. We have Clark and Ish who are on the live channels as well, so if you have any questions, you can hit them up as well there.
All right. Well, I think that is all we have. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Nice talking to both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, and we'll be back with another segment in just a little bit.